Hi friends, it's Sarah. Even though it's spring, I'm sick. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to be sharing today a spring and summer reversible paintbrush gnome. They're super cute and a super easy project, so if you'd like to make it, just boop, stick around. As always, please give this video a like so I know you're here. As I mentioned, I'm sick, so if I begin coughing, I apologize on this. So what I'm going to do is a very simple paint job on either side. I did dots on one, and I made lemons. Okay, some of them don't look like lemons, but that's the other side for my summer tray. The first step is just to take some Dollar Tree paintbrushes and paint them all white. You are going to need quite a few coats. I used gouache and chalk paint. Both of them work the same. I ended up doing 3 coats on every bit of these paintbrushes. You can also change the beard. So if you want a beard that is pointed or one that is flat, you can change it even rounded. If you want to make another alteration, you can do as I've done here with my Christmas gnome paintbrush that I already shared, and that was to use puffy paint to create a mustache and beard lines, whatever you would like. You can even do like little stars for, excuse me, a patriotic holiday in the beard, or little moons in case you're making a galaxy beard. I don't know, but you can do that. But I will tell you, the first layer of puffy paint deflates and the second layer stays high. Don't make something really intricate because it also shrinks up just a tiny little bit, so keep that in mind. You're going to have to let these dry a day or so in between coats to make sure they're solid. Back to the painting. So I'm going to be using that small paintbrush for my spring and summer trays. I'm just going to paint thin layers of this light green chalk paint. Now, I am no artist like painting artist, but over the years I have learned that thin layers of paint done on top of each other are better than one globby layer of paint like I would do because I'm impatient. So get yourself a heat gun, throw a little heat at it, and you can do this while watching TV. Easy things like this are always something that you can do while doing something else. I tend to listen to Audible books, which is why my phone is right next to me. All right, so I'm going to paint the fairing a beige color. Be sure to get the sides and both the front and the back. And the next thing is just dry it and do a second coat. All right, so I end up doing my second coat, and then I also end up blending colors for cheeks. So another tip that I've learned is never add a color if you can make that color using colors you're already using. So I'm taking the coral that I'll be using on the flowers and the paint handle, and I'm going to mix the coral with beige, and it's going to give me a nice color that will work with the entire design and nothing will clash. Again, I'm not an artist. This is just something I've picked up over the years. To blend it, to make it not so stark, you just use a little bit of water or a little bit of the base color paint, and that way it can kind of feather it out. I end up putting a very small bead, this is a 1/4 inch wood bead, onto a skewer so I can paint it all beige and add a nice little pop of that blush color right in the front. And then I dry it all with a heat gun. Now, once I put this together, I hated it. So I'm going to paint over the blush cheeks on the beard, couple light coats of white, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the actual fairing. And the reason is because I wanted them higher, and so the beard was all white. So all I'm doing is putting the same exact thing into little ovals, and then I'm going to blend it out the same exact way. Now, you don't have to do this. You can leave off the cheeks entirely. And for those of you wondering, why are you putting the nose at the same level of the cheeks? I don't know, because I can. I don't have a reason. All right, so once that is dry, I measure everything from my nice little cutout of Sherpa. We're going to be gluing down the top and the bottom edges, so make it a little bit taller than it needs to be. Here I realize, oh my goodness, we have to pull out all these pieces. Don't skip this step. Sherpa is amazing, but it will shed if you skip it. And look here, boop, forgot that wasn't plugged in. So let's move on to the roses. So all I'm going to do is grab 3 of these in 3 different sizes, and I'm going to be painting them to work with my project. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about with these little things, here they are. They're from, I think, the paper crafting section. They're just these little resin roses with a flat back. And then I'm also going to be taking little sprigs of whatever greenery is on my craft room floor and adding those. So I'm going to use the same coral that I'm going to use on my little dots, and I'm going to paint all of those little roses, you can add a couple of like white little accents if you want, and then just hit those with a heat gun as well. And if the edits on this sound weird, it's because I keep coughing. I apologize. To look like a rock star, we're going to coat everything in a Liquitex varnish. I love this brand. I love this stuff. Just put it into a separate jar and protect your work surface before adding a thin coat. Now I'm going not to paint the handle yet because I'm actually going to paint that after I make my pattern on it. So thin coat, you do the fairing, the sides, and the actual beard, and then we can hit that with a heat gun. You can do 1 or 2 coats. Obviously 2 will help with any chipping when you put these away for the season. Super relaxing, right? I love this part. Now, for my super fancy paint job, I'm going to stick the end of a skewer into the coral and make some dots. I know, look at me go. But I figure this is easy. Everybody can do this, and it's kind of fun. I also used the very pointed tip of that same skewer and added, excuse me, added little white dots inside the coral and around them so that I could have a nice little variation. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I did lose the footage for the lemons, but I'm going to walk you through how I did that. That side was actually less time than this side. So it's super easy to do and even create the leaves. All right, so once that's done, I just add my heat to it and then varnish the entire top here as well. I'm not varnishing the sides yet because I am going to make this reversible. So once that's dry, and now I'm actually going to paint the sides of this white. So the base of my other side is completely white for the lemons so that that white will allow the colors to really pop. So I'm just trying to use a nice square tip brush here and paint those sides on this spring side. Easy, right? And I do dry that. Now, for the lemons, I lost this footage. I just made ovals, which some of these are strawberry shaped, but let's get over it. And then I made sticks and some leaves out of green. That's it. I am not kidding you. It took less time. If you want to add shadow and little highlights, you can do that as well. And then I'm just going to be adding on the noses, wrapping it around the Sherpa, and then adding any extras. So I didn't add any extras to the lemon side because I felt it was busy enough. As you can see, it's just the nose, the fluff, and the paint. On this side, I added the little leaves, the roses, and the nose and fluff. So you can see, like I said, some look like strawberries, some look like lemons, but I think this is a really fun project you can do with Dollar Tree paintbrushes. Let me know what you think down below. Sorry for all the coughing, but thank you so much for being here. Please like, please share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.